Hello and welcome back to the Champions League Challenge on Football Manager 2022, where we are currently in charge of Steaua Bucharest in the Romanian second tier. Now, last episode I had a bit of confusion about what was going on with Steaua Bucharest, and I've since done a bit of reading and worked out sort of what's going on. It's quite a messy situation, but basically there's two teams that are claiming to be Steaua Bucharest. I'm obviously not going to take a side, but I've chosen the Steaua Bucharest who, on the game, and I think legally, currently, have the honours of winning the Champions League as recognised by courts. But it gets a bit messy because I think UEFA recognise the other Steaua Bucharest, who are in the top tier, as being the ones that won the European Cup. So it's a bit of a mess, but this is the side we're going with. I'll just quickly show you, just to show that it's legit. Champions League, there we go, on this version of Steaua Bucharest. The other version of Steaua Bucharest is called FCSB, which would have been an easier save to start with because they are in the top tier of Romania, but can't be helped. They don't have any Champions League wins. It's, like I said, it's very messy. They're fighting over who gets to have the honours up until 2003, and then after 2003 the honours are awarded to this version, but before 2003 they're awarded to the version that we're managing, and it's all very complicated. So I just wanted to get that out of the way before we begin properly. Also, I have been in touch with my board. I requested a senior affiliate. They said no, it would have been very helpful because our finances are in such a situation, as I said last episode, where we can't sign anyone. We're heavily relying on loans. Have signed a few players on loan, which we'll get to in a little bit, but a senior affiliate would have been nice to have a better club to just send their youth prospects to us and then give us more chance of having better players on loan, I guess. We have improved the staff situation. If you remember, we were pretty good in our coaching team comparison in all areas apart from fitness, mental, technical, and man management, I think it was. That's all gone up. That is with just hiring 2 performance analysts. I didn't realise they had such an effect, but they clearly do. In the recruitment team, we've also hired people there. We've hired a director of football, a chief scout, and 2 scouts. That has got us to being the highest average for judging potential and actual ability in our league. And then the medical team, we've improved that by getting in a physio, sports scientist, and did we get a head physio in as well? I don't think we had a head physio last time. But we've got a head of sports science and sports scientist as well. So the sports science area is up there. It's the highest average in the league, but the physio's sort of middle ground. So we'll take a look at the signings that we have made first of all. So this is the first one, a right back, Ionut Mitran. He's 19 years old, obviously Romanian, on loan from Universitatea Craiova, who I believe are in the top division of Romania. I think most of the teams that I've taken players on loan from are in the top tier. Yes, these are. So he's a pretty decent right back, to be fair, 2.5 star rated. We needed more cover. That is going to be the reason for the majority of these signings. We needed more cover in those positions. But hopefully he can do well for us. There is some rules regarding picking your team on a match day that I literally just realised about 10 minutes ago. So we'll get to that in a little bit, but that is quite interesting in terms of the ages that the players have to be. We then signed Adrian Ili on loan from CFR Cluj, 19 years old again. He can play at left back or left midfield, so he's quite versatile, gives us backup in both of those areas. As I said, on loan from CFR Cluj, and shares the exact name as one of our current players, who also plays as a left back. So that's going to be a little bit confusing this season. We might have to change his name. In fact, I think I will change his name. I'm going to call him Adrian Ili II. I think that's only fair enough since he was the player that came here second. Adrian Ili I has been here for however long he's been here, longer than Adrian Ili II. We then scoured the loan market once again for this player, who is a left midfielder and a right midfielder. Plays pretty solidly at both, 20 years old, on loan from Cindia Targoviște, who are also in the top tier of Romanian football. A pretty decent looking player, 11 dribbling, 12 first touch, 12 finishing, quite nice. Good penalty taker as well if we ever need him. Again, just brought in as backup. He's injured at the moment though, which isn't great. I think he's only out. I can't actually click on it. No, I don't want to click on that. There we go. He's returning to full training tomorrow, so he's obviously not going to be available for today's first game, but might be for the second. And then the final loan signing that we brought in is Julian Bedea, 21-year-old Romanian centre midfielder on loan from Voluntari. He's got a very nice first touch, good passing and technique as well. Just extra backup in centre midfield. If you remember, our centre midfielders are quite old. They're 38 and 35 respectively. I think a bit of youth in the centre midfield could be helpful this year. So I just thought I'd show you the season preview so you can see where the media think we're going to finish now. It originally said we were going to finish first, but currently they think we'll finish around 8th, which wouldn't be good enough for us to reach our goal of getting in the top 6. So we're going to have to try and do a bit better than this, but you can see the odds are quite close amongst all of these. Favourites for relegation, Astra Giurgiu, not surprising. They are the team that are currently, they're now minus 13 because they played a game and they drew their first game. So they're on the positive step towards trying to somehow claw themselves away from possibly being relegated. So now for the tactics. You'll remember last episode I chose a 4-4-2 with wing play. I've since changed that to a 4-2-3-1 with wing play. This isn't the selected team or anything. We'll get into that in a little bit, but this is the formation we're going to try to start the season with. It's our more positive formation. We've got 3 formations, one more positive, one a bit more cautious, and then one very cautious for possibly if we get to the latter stages of the Romanian Cup and we've got to play against teams of a much higher quality than us that are in the top tier. But this is our more positive formation, a 4-2-3-1 with wing play. Second formation is a route 1. This is our more cautious one, 4-4-2 standard classic formation. And then I'll park the bus, which I really don't like, but sometimes you have to do it, I guess. So this is for if we come up against one of the better sides in Romania. And one last thing before we get into today's team selection and going through the match day rules for the Romanian second tier. We've played 4 friendlies in the pre-season. We started off with an intra-squad friendly against our second 11. We smashed them by 6-1. We then played against CSKA Sofia and got battered by them 3-1. Played against Dunav, who I'm not actually sure where Dunav play. They're Bulgarian as well. I think we went on a tour of Bulgaria, actually. That seems to ring a bell. We beat them 6-2, and then we played Pirin Blagoevgrad, who are also in the top tier of Bulgaria, and beat those 2-1. So hopefully this game against Dunaria Kalarashi is going to be a win for us. They are, if we go back to the season preview, they are predicted to finish second bottom. So it should be a pretty easy game, hopefully. Touch wood. So we're going to get into the lineup for today now. But before we do, if you look at the bottom of the screen, my head might be in the way a little bit. But the match rules for this game and all games in the league. So we have to have a maximum of 2 non-EU players in the playing 11. That's fine. I don't think we've got many foreign players. I know we've got a Brazilian in Wallace, but other than that, don't think we've got too many. Minimum of 10 players trained in Romania for 3 years before the 21st birthday in the entire squad, which again is fine. 10 players, that's fine. But then we get into the playing 11, and it's a minimum of 2 under 20 players trained by a club in Romania for 3 years, and a minimum of 1 under 19 player trained by a club in Romania for 3 years. So that explains one of the more surprising, at least to me, players that I've included in the squad. We'll quickly go through the squad and I'll show you their profiles at the same time. So in goal, we've got Raul Balbarau. He's our best goalkeeper really at the moment. He's on loan to us from Petrosport Ploiesti. George Shalantaru, the 32-year-old, not 23-year-old, read that backwards, at right back. Brazilian centre-back Wallace is at centre-back, alongside Romanian Dane Better. At left-back today is our new loan signing, Adrian Illy II. Adrian Illy I is on the bench. Valentin Barbilescu, the 35-year-old centre midfielder, plays alongside his fellow 30-year-old, almost 40-year-old, 38-year-old Liviu Bajanaru. Florin Rajdan, our vice-captain, is at right wing. Dragos Huiban is at centre attacking midfield. Not great there, but he's competent at playing there, so that's why he's playing there today. And then this is the more surprising one. So 16-year-old Claudio Donos gets his first ever professional start for Steaua Bucharest. I think first ever in his career, according to his career stats. So yeah, 16 years old. He's a star of the future, but he's going to have to become a star of now for the time being because of the squad rules. And then we have Bogdan Chipurliu up front, the Romanian national. Let's see how we go. As I said, Adrian Ili, the first, is on the bench. Ainut Mitran, one of our loanies, and the other loanee signing, Ilian Badea, is also on the bench. You might notice another loanee here. I didn't get him in on loan. He was living in our under-19s, brought in on loan by the previous management. I assume he's 17 years old. He'd be back up to the backup goalkeeper, to be fair to him, which is why he's not on the bench today. And then Cosmin Atanas, of course, is still recovering from that injury, so won't play any part today. But let's get into the game and see if we can get off to a positive start as Steaua Bucharest manager. It looks like a pretty empty stadium for this first game of the Romanian second tier. Hopefully that's something that we can improve as we improve this club, ideally. No point really looking at the league table as there's games ongoing. I think they were at like 75 minutes when this game's starting, which seems ridiculous because this game's starting at midday. So they must have started very early. I think I need to change my settings again though, because they'll have changed from the beta, and yes, they have. Okay, that's all sorted now. So we are playing in the red kit today. Our opposition, who I've forgotten and probably can't even pronounce the name of anyway, are playing in the all-white kit. So here we go. First proper highlight of the game, and it is the opposition coming forward with it. They've got Popescu up front on the ball, holds the ball up nicely. Berde takes that out wide to Philip. We need to get a tackle in. I think it's Adrian Ili the second that's down there marking him, as Pitigoy has the ball in the centre of the field. Philip out wide, plays inside to Butafai. Back to Leka. Slow build-up play from Dunarea. I think that's who we're playing. Philip down the right-hand side again. Adrian Ili the second needs to try and win the ball. He can't. The ball's in the box. Nika's there with a header and it's off the post and cleared by Kalintaru. Not the start that we wanted. We've not really had much of an effort really so far. We're going to demand more. And now I don't know if this is an issue with the game or they've just changed something, but I'm pretty sure I play the game with 85% zoomed out. I used to be able to see more on my screen than what I currently see, both in the match and in general, as the ball is played forward to Popescu and the pressure just keeps on coming. It's Philippe, ball into the box. Wallace gets there and clears it for Beta, but it's going to come back with Maitai out wide left to Salcianu. We really need to change something here. I'm going to have to do that after this highlight finishes. I think this ball goes into Nika. Hopefully we can defend this. Belangui to the back post. Phillips there. And that's pulled wide by him. So we're going to pause it. We're going to go to our tactics and we're going to change something. Dragos Huiben has a potential foot injury at attacking centre midfield, which isn't great. And we don't have another attacking centre midfielder on the bench. So that could be a problem. But we do have Claudio Donos, who can play at attacking centre midfield, on the field. So we can fix that problem. He's not as good in that role as he is on the wing, but we'll just have to deal with it. We're going to switch him to an advanced playmaker. We'll put him on attack. We're going to change the deep-lying playmaker to a box-to-box midfielder. And then Huiban is going to come off. And we are going to bring on Alexandru Zaharia at left wing. Try him as an inside forward on support. We'll confirm those changes there. We definitely need to change something. We have started to get a bit more into the game in terms of shots, but we've not seen any highlights for us so far. We do apparently have the slightly better XG though. Florin Razdan's not having the best of times out there. We've got a few players who are looking nervous as well. The 16-year-old is one of them. I think I'm going to take Razdan off at half-time for Adrian Popper. If I remember rightly, Popper had a pretty decent time in the friendly matches. He's got a goal and an assist in the friendly matches. Not a great average rating overall, but he's managed to get on the score sheet and to get us a couple of goals, or be involved in a couple of goals. So we'll bring him on. I don't actually take charge of the friendly matches, so I've not really seen us in action, really. So I might have to change the style of play that we're trying to go for. We're into the 81st minute, and we've still not had a proper chance yet. Claudio Donos, the 16-year-old, is pretty knackered out there. I think it could be time for a change of formation. It could be time for the 4-4-2. Route 1. Oh. We'll see how this goes. As I said last episode, not a big fan of Route 1. But Claudio Donos is going to have to come off. And we'll bring on Buhoescu up front. Oh, no, we can't. Oh, we're going to have to pause this. There has to be 2 under-20s in the first 11. I think is what that said. Yeah, right. We could come into some difficulty in this save. So we can't make that change that I was wanting to make. So we're gonna have to do something different. We're gonna put Chapurliu as a target forward. And then we'll make Denos a shadow striker. We'll put him as Chapurliu as a target forward on support. Denos is just gonna have to play the rest of the game, unfortunately. So we'll confirm those changes. It's Route 1 football. See if that works out. And we could have a shout here. It's Barbilescu with a throw-in. Finds Bajanaru. Out wide to Adrian Illy the second. Barbilescu gets it again. Bajanaru. Out to the right to Kalantaru, who advances forward with the ball. Finds Popper on the right-hand side. It'd be lovely if we get a ball in, which we do. Chapurliu's there and he scored! Route 1 football is the key to the Romanian second tier. Chapurliu with a header in injury time in the second half of our first game. Beautiful stuff. Kalantaru finding Popper, one of the substitutes, who crosses it in for Chapurliu, who's been on the field since the start of the game and is playing as the target man and gets his head on it as a good target man should. And we should be home and dry. And indeed we are. It's a victory in our first game. It didn't look like it was going to come, but eventually, in injury time, thanks to a change of formation and a change of tactic, it has come through for us. So we are just one of 4 teams so far this season to pick up a victory in the opening game, which puts us 4th in the league. But of course, it is early days. Next up, we have Petrolul Ploiesti, who are yet to play in the league this season. So we'll see how they get on in their first game, and then we'll be back for our game against them. And Dragos Hriban's injury is a damaged heel, so he's going to be out for 2 weeks, unfortunately for him. We do have enough cover in, we don't have enough cover at attacking centre midfield, but we do have enough cover up front, because I'm going to change the formation to the Route 1 4-4-2 formation, I think, for the next game. So we've played 1 game and we've already broken a record. It's an easy record to break, though. Claudio Denos has become the youngest ever Steaua Bucharest player at the age of 16 years and 333 days. Petrolul Ploiesti have lost their first game of the season. They had a player sent off as well, so hopefully that's a good sign of how we're going to do against them as well. Here we go, it's game day. It is Petrolul Ploiesti against Steaua Bucharest, and hopefully we are going to make it a 100% record in the league with victory away from home today. We are going to change our formation, which means we are going to change some personnel as well. So Dragos Hriban is still not fully recovered from the injury picked up in the last game. So we're going to bring on Vagil Buescu. We just have to make sure that we're keeping in line with the rules as well. So Buescu is going to partner Bogdan Chapurliu up front. We'll leave him as a deep lying forward. We've got Bogdan as the target forward on support. Claudio Denos is going to have to still remain in the side because of the fact he's under 19. And we're going to take Rajdan out of the side, though. He didn't perform well last game. However, Alexandru Zaharia did well coming off the bench and can play at left midfield. So we're playing Claudio Denos as a winger on support. Valentin Barbilescu as centre midfielder. Liviu Bajanaru as a... We play him as a playmaker, can't we? Because we don't have any other playmakers. So we play him as an advanced playmaker. Actually, no. We play him as a deep line playmaker on support. Alexandru Zaharia is the inverted winger on support. And as I said, Bogdan Chapurliu, target forward. And Vasil Buharescu is the deep lying forward with our Route 1 tactic. Let's see how we get on with this. Just realised last game I said we were playing all in red. We're not. We're obviously playing in the red and blue stripes that Steaua Bucharest playing. Playing in that kit again today, as we might have a chance here. Chapurliu, it's a nice passing play for us, considering we're doing a Route 1 tactic. It's Denos, the 16-year-old, down the right-hand side. Can he get a ball into the box? He can. Chapurliu's with a header, and it's just wide from him, as there is literally no one watching from behind that goal. So we've had a better start to this one. At least we've seen a highlight in the opening few minutes, as the ball's played along from the Petrolul goalkeeper. It's Russ with the ball on the right-hand side. It'd be nice if we could win this back, but Zaharia with an excellent tackle. Buharescu does his best to lose the ball, but wins it back, and Zaharia has it again. Zaharia cutting inside, plays it back to the centre midfielder Bajanaru. Now Adrian Illy II He just finds his defensive partner and it gets the ball back from the centre midfielder. Plays it forward to Bucharest. Now Ciperliu, Zaharia. Everything seems to go through Zaharia at the moment as he gets it back again. Nice little flick. Through ball to Ciperliu for his second of the season, and it's straight at Avram, the Petrolul goalkeeper. Free kick for Petrolul into the box. And it's towards the back post with Beta. Heads it. He doesn't head it clear. He kicks it clear. And I think that's a penalty. Bucharest has fouled somebody, and it's a penalty to Petrolul. We need some heroics from the keeper here. We don't get it. Sebataru puts Petrolul Ploiesti 1-0 up here after less than 20 minutes played. Arguably, I'd say we've done better this game to start the game than we did last time out, but we find ourselves a goal down. Throw in on the left. Adrian Illy the second. Can we create something? Zaharia with the ball, still on this left-hand side. Illy the second with the ball in, headed away, and Petrolul can come away with it. That's a weird clearance off his own player, and it falls back at the feet of our right back, and Chalantaru running forward, and it finds 16-year-old Danos on the right-hand side. Ball in from him to Ciperliu, not it down to Zaharia. Shot blocked. Bajanaru with a shot, and Liviu Bajanaru, the 30-something-year-old centre midfielder, has got us level 10 minutes after we went behind. His first ever goal for us. I think he's 35. I think that's the 35-year-old. I think Babilescu is the 38-year-old. Might be wrong, but we'll find out at half-time, I guess. Beautiful finish from Bajanaru, though, right into the top corner of the goal, and there was no stopping it for the Petrolul keeper. Corner, Babilescu with it. Beta's there, it's headed away, and Petrolul can get on the attack if they're good with this ball. Vajushi running forward with it. He seems to have a bit more pace than our defender, but he has to play it back. I think he was running out of juice there, and the ball is back in the Petrolul defence. Sebatari, the goal scorer, plays that back to the defenders again. Now Rus with the ball on the right-hand side, plays it inside to Vajushi, the man who had the original run at the start of this highlight. Jarovic to Simone. Simone with a shot, and that's off the bar. That was almost another epic goal in this game. It would have been the second. Free kick in a dangerous position. Sebataru's unmarked, finds Huja. It's blocked, and it's somehow gone in. Simon Mazarac has scored. No goal. No goal. He's offside. The assistant referee's raised his flag. It was offside. I don't think we have VAR in this tier of football, but apparently that was offside. Not sure about that, but I'm happy with it. We get to half time. We've had so many more efforts than Petrolul. They've got a slightly better XG than us, but we need to keep Pepper in their goal. I think we've got a win here if we just keep shooting, basically. Now, we might have to make an Adrian Illy swap. He's on a yellow card. He's not on a great rating either at left back. We do have the original Adrian Illy on the bench. We've also got a poor playing right back in George Chalantaru, so we could bring on Ionut Mitran too. We'll do the Illy swap. So Adrian Illy the second, making way for Adrian Illy. No, he's not, because we can't do that. Never mind. Forget I said that. Ionut Mitran, can he come on for George Chalantaru? He can. And then we can do the Adrian Illy change, because Ionut Mitran must be another 20. This is all very confusing to me. So we're changing both our fullbacks. Let's see how it goes. Everywhere else I think is pretty okay. Dean Becher is on a 6.5. Not great. We've got Sergiu Bakhtar on the bench who can play at centre back. Pretty decent. Tackling 13, marking 12. Not much strength compared with Beta, he's pretty good across the board, especially compared to Sergiu Bakhtar. Right, it looks like this is going to be an opportunity for us. I think it's a corner. Babilescu to take the corner from the left-hand side. The back post. Ciperliu's there, and that's over the bar from the volley from Ciperliu. Should be doing better with that. I think it was offside anyway. It wasn't offside. That was a flag for a goal kick. I always get confused with that. It's Illy the first. Adrian Illy the first. Moving forward to the ball. Finds Bucharest. Nice hold-up play from him. Finds Zaharia on the left. Forward to Ciperliu. Good touch. Back to Bajanaru. And Illy has it again at left back. Bucharest back to Bajanaru. Can we create something here? It's nice ball play, but is there going to be an end product? There's plenty of space on the right if they want to use it. They stay on the left-hand side of the pitch with Illy. Illy running down the field. A ball in towards back post. Claudio Danos is there with the shot, and it's just off the outside of the post and out for a goal kick. 83 minutes gone. We've got some tired players out there. Not sure necessarily how many of them I can take off or who I can take off, but we're going to try something. So Adrian Popper is capable of playing up front. Bogdan Chipurliu is a bit tired and also not having the best of games. So we'll stick him up there, I think. In fact, no. We're going to move Danos, change his position. Popper's going to be at right wing. Danos is going to drop back to the... We're going to do the same thing as we did last time, except we've not got Chipurliu up front. We've got Buhalescu instead, who's going to play as a target forward and support. Danos will play as a shadow striker, and we'll see how we get on with that. So Haria, could we have one last opportunity late on to get a winner, or are we going to give a goal away to Petrolul? That's Constantinescu with the long ball forward towards Diarra. The keeper needs to come and get it. He doesn't get it. What's just happened? That is a comedy of errors there. The goalkeeper coming out fails to win the ball. It's an open goal for Diarra, and he skies it, and that is full time. It's a draw away from home. Our first dropped points of the season. We peppered their goal, but could only manage the same XG as them and the same number of goals as them. So that result, it still leaves us in a pretty positive position. Lots of teams have dropped points so far this season. There's only four teams, who are still unbeaten, and they've only played once. So it could be a very open league this year. Astra Giurgiu at the bottom, we'll keep an eye on them because it's just fun, because they've obviously been deducted 14 points for financial difficulties. They must have drawn their second game because they're now on -12. But up to fourth. Fourth would be great come the end of the season, so not going to complain too bad about a win and a draw in our first two matches. Just realised I forgot to check the age of the goal scoring centre midfielder. It was actually the 38-year-old that scored. Liviu Bajanaru is the 38-year-old who scored that worldie. Now, looking ahead to the next episode, I am tempted to go all the way through to the cup game, but I think we should concentrate on the league because that is the most important thing to us. A cup run would be nice, but if we get to the latter stages of the cup, I'll show those games. But we'll concentrate on the league. Hermannstadt are one of the favourites to go up. They were actually relegated from the top tier last season, alongside Polytechnica, Ayashi, and Astra Giurgiu, who are obviously in all these financial difficulties now. So we will play the games against top of the table currently, Hermannstadt, and 7th place, Concordia Chiajna, in the next episode. But that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to get all my content when it comes out, hit the notification bell to stay notified, and I'll see you next time.